It was a feast of television for me. I watched David Morrissey, who we had in here last Friday.
Yes, on the
in
Sky
Thorn.
drama Thorn.
Yeah, and then I was able to watch the second series, the first and second series of Whitechapel, which stars Rupert Penry-Jones here, and he's D.I. Chandler. That's who you are in that.
That's
and the thing about it, if you haven't seen it before, D.I. Chandler is... He's a posh cop, isn't he?
Yeah, he's definitely posh.
But is that the way it is in real life? I never really associate cops with being posh.
Well, I think there's different types of cops. He's a fast-track policeman where he sort of has to... They have to dip their toe in every aspect of policing before they get to be a DI, but the sort of highly educated ones, the ones who've been born with a silver spoon in their mouth, who've been to university, whatever, they go to the top.
But he's
quicker.
good. He is good.
He's not that good.
Well, no.
Always get it right,
He hasn't got anything.
Yeah,
right.
but he's always got a theory. He's got something he latches on to. If you haven't seen this so far, you don't know what we're talking about, we're going to show you a little recap of Whitechapel.
D.I. Chandler.
Oh, you've heard of me?
You're the man who failed to catch the Ripper.
Another big case will find you soon. Be ready.
We've got one.
Or domestic?
No, it's in the river. Bonafide whodunit.
But you know what we've got here, don't you? Another copycat. A crazed Cray fan. They had the police in their pockets, they blackmailed politicians, they fixed their juries, their name, their reputation was the law.
You don't know what I'm capable of.
Rupert, the premise this time round is that the Krays have returned to the East End of London, or someone, obviously, who idolises the Krays. And what I thought was really, really interesting about this is there's this image that goes about, like, oh, the Krays, they were your good old-time villains, they only ever harmed their own and all that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. And then in your drama, you highlight in great detail what they did and how they exacted their revenge, and you stand back and you go, ho, ho, ho.
Well, the amazing thing about the Krays was they infiltrated everything, especially the police, so, you know, there was nobody who wasn't affected by them, and the only way they wwere caught was by Nipper Reid, who was the policeman at the time, who actually formed a special unit that went undercover and hid out somewhere and pretended they were investigating something else, so that the bent policemen within Scotland Yard didn't tell the Krays what was going on, and that's how they kind of got them, really. And we have to do the same thing, because it ends up with all the police around us, and we don't know who we can trust. We end up not even knowing if we can... Me and Miles reckon we don't even trust each other, so it gets very confusing.
And did you know much about the Kray twins before you started this? Did you do,
I read a
do
couple
much
of books.
research?
I read a couple of books about them, but that was
because
all...
people are fascinated, however gruesome a lot of it is. There's a fascination with
the
them,
idea
isn't there?
for this particular storyline came through with the writers were reading about them, one of the books that's been written about them, and there was a seed planted in there with what if they had frozen their sperm, and they've sort of taken that idea and run with it. I mean, it's quite possible that the sperm could have been frozen then, and one of their lady, I mean, one of them got married while he was in prison, so you know, it's very possible she could have said, you know, can I have some of your frozen sperm and let's have some more.
Gosh.
You know, and that's the idea we've got here, is that there's a woman who was one of the Ronnie Kray's lover and has...
And you filmed in a lot of the kind of Kray's haunts, I suppose you'd
Yeah,
call
the Blind
them.
Beggar and Polici's Cafe and these places. And apparently in the Blind Beggar, where they fired a warning shot...
where
where they fired the warning shot into the ceiling, it's still, when it rains, it still leaks through where the bullet hole was.
And did you meet people that knew them?
Yeah, Polici's, the people who run Polici's are the family that ran it back when the Krays used to go every morning, and I met the lady who used to give Ronnie Kray's breakfast every morning. But they talk about them as if they were Hollywood movie stars.
Of course.
Well, it seemed to be cool to kind of hang around with them.
Well, they were very cool people. The celebrities hung out.
I don't think you'd want to have annoyed them.
No.
Really, if they extended an invite of hospitality to you, I don't think it'd been a good idea for your health to turn it down.
No, definitely not.
Really. As I say, it's lovely how you recreate and compare the modern scenes to the old scenes.
Well, yeah, it's got very much a feel of a 60s.
But also
world.
what you do is, with the gruesomeness, and it is quite gruesome, it's quite dark, it's an intelligence drama, there is humour there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm, at the moment, when I watch telly, I don't want to watch something that's just utterly depressing, and there's a lot of depressing TV drama out there, and it's nice that this is such a dark story, but we have the banter between the policemen, and it just quite makes you laugh at the same time.
So this is the next week will be the second of 3.
That's right.
In this, right? Well, good to see that back. That's excellent. I want to talk to you about your personal life now. You're married to the actress Dervla Kirwan.
That's right. Yes.
Dervla, who we'll know from so many things,
Bally's Kiss Angel originally.
and the Marks and Spencer ads
Yeah.
and all that sort of thing. But now, when a job comes into the house, because your family, they're your children, what happens? How do you?
A very loud helicopter about to land on our roof.
That'll be the craze popping in.
Something you said, Eamon.
Uh,
How do you dish out the work? How do you decide? Well, I'm not going to be around for the next 6 months, or what was
Well,
that?
we have to have permission from each other first, and it is hard to sort of. I mean, neither of us really want to be away for 6 months. We kind of have an unspoken rule: 5 weeks away is the maximum one either of us can handle. And it's kind of first come, first served basis, really. If Dervla gets the big job first, then I have to wait. If I get the big job first, then she has to wait. Unless it's something career-changing or so much money that you can't. But unfortunately, the big money jobs are few and far between now.
It sounds
And we
very
also have
civilised.
a fantastic nanny, Tanya, who's been with us for
Yes.
years. And we have someone we can trust who can look after the kids and actually runs the house better than we do.
God bless her.
You've
then.
got to have,
That's
got
good.
to have that. haven't
So, have you and Dervla worked together?
We have. We met on a job together. Actually, we've worked together a few times. We met on Dangerous Corner, which was a play we did in the West End, where we sort of got together on that. And then we did Casanova together. She played Casanova's mother, and I played his nemesis. And then we did Then we did Le Liaison at the Old Vic a few years ago, and that was the final one. After that, we decided we can't work together anymore.
Why?
Really?
Did you fall out?
Well, no, it wasn't that. It's just it's too intense, really. And I don't want her to see how I am at work. I'm not the
Why is she
same
better
I
than you?
discovered that too late.
Well, it's, you know, you behave like a different person, really. It's nice to keep it separate. We have our own lives and our own worlds. It's great. You know, we're married and we live together and we have our house together, but we're also able to go away and have our own little lives and worlds. And I think that's very
what you
important.
both have done is the BBC Who Do You Think You Are, haven't you? So
Yeah.
Dervla's did hers, and we discovered what she was related to
Michael Collins,
Michael
wasn't it?
Collins.
Yes.
And what did
We
you
sort
discover?
of knew that, but I never quite believed her. But no, it's definitely fact.
And what did you discover about your family?
Well, I discovered that back, 8 generations back, I had an ancestor who was at least half Indian. They called them Indo-Britons then. But the best thing for me was going to Italy to see where my grandfather fought and won his medal. He was a war hero back in the Battle of Monte Cassino, and that was incredible, and meeting one of the vets from the army there. Because he was with the Indian Army in the medical corps.
A lot of people say that. You said that about your grandfather, didn't you? You discovered that there were things that had happened to him in the war that they didn't really talk
Yeah,
about.
they don't.
My grandfather was in hospital recuperating from his wounds from the Somme in the building next door to this, where I've been working here for 15 years, and I never knew that. For
Oh, my
6
God.
months he was sent back from the front line in a
See,
hospital.
there you go, it's incredible. And
Yeah,
I can't
incredible.
believe my grandfather did what he did, and nobody really, even my mother, never really knew.
But I think the men themselves didn't talk about it. So that's
No,
probably
I
why
think
even his
the-
daughter didn't.
Yeah, the
come
war
in
was
there.
something you didn't want to remember, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't forget, but you don't.
We will next see you as a lawyer in a BBC series called Silks.
That's right, yes. I'm filming that at the moment with Maxine Peake and Neil Stook. We're playing barrister. Maxine and I are sort of barristers up against each other for Silk, and Stook is our clerk who's manipulating us and playing us off against each other. It's a lot of
So
fun.
lots of dressing up in wigs
Yeah.
and cloaks
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
things.
Not very Audrey Hepburn-like. I can't
Now,
believe
what's
you
that-
said that.
What is that Audrey Hepburn thing?
I don't know. A.A. Gill is obviously a critic that everybody knows who hates my guts. I mean, he's
Yeah.
every time, ever since Spooks, he's
Yeah.
done nothing but
And you don't know
slag me
why?
off. And I don't really know why. I've done nothing against him, and but he doesn't like me as an actor. And calling me Audrey Hepburn was a kind of he complimented me and slapped me at the same time, because I think she's great, but I'm sure he didn't mean it in a positive way. I
Yeah.
don't quite know what I think he meant that I was posh. And
No, maybe we should say it's brilliant.
No,
it's a
A.A.
brilliant
Gill-
thing to
A.A.
be
Gill
compared
hates
to
me.
Audrey Hepburn.
So we'll see the second part of Whitechapel, Monday, ITV1, 9 p.m.
yeah.
Good to see you.
Lovely. Very good to see you, Rupert. Thank you very much
Thank you.
indeed. Or Audrey, to us friends. Still to come. We've got the boss of EastEnders. He's